Hip hop versus the industry plants. We about to talk about some real music today. I had a dope time at the Hollywood Bowl yesterday where we got to see and some of the legends and the gods of music perform music the way it should be performed live with a band rapping their own lyrics without a tape underneath. And for some damn reason, I just looked at my chat. I see I don't have a chat working. Chat room, I'm on it. I already know what happened. Let me go fix it. YouTube been doing this lately. I don't know if they're trying to set a player up, but the default has been going to kids, like this is edited for rated for kids, and no, in the hell it's not. Because I do it through Ecamm. Ecamm for some reason has been default selecting made for children, and no, in the hell it's not. Save. Now you should be able to chat. YouTube, chat away, my friends. Chat away. But so yeah, we talked about hip hop is yes, I got to see what America really is, and hip hop is a true reflection of America. But I'm gonna take a whole different angle than when you usually hear people talk about America. Um, Come on, YouTube, let me know you're there. Y'all should be able to y'all should be able to chat now. I don't know why in the hell this thing been automatically putting on made for children. My content is not made for kids. There we go. Okay, chat working. Now you kids can listen to it, of course, because it's just edutainment. I educate when I entertain. So you should. But before we get to it, rest in peace to Sly Stone. Man, if you're a regular on this channel, I talk about Sly and the Family Stone a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. Because of what they meant to music and what Sly Stone meant. And when you tell the story of hip hop, what they done when they tell the story of hip hop is they omit the pioneers that gave hip hop the game. They just act like those people that don't exist. They don't, like the same way they don't tell you who taught. They don't tell you about Beethoven's teacher. They don't tell you why Johann Sebastian Bach wears that Afro wig and who he learned the game from. They don't tell you because the backer you go, the blacker you go. And all of the groundwork for hip hop is laid by people like Sly Stone. Sly Stone was a DJ out of Dallas. I'm not Dallas, out of Oakland. He was born in Denton, Texas, but he got he got his bones in Oakland, in San Francisco, up in the Bay Area, San Francisco, and he was a DJ. And he was back in the days of the personality DJ when they had to rap on the radio to keep your attention. That was Sly Stone. And from the radio, let me see if I can find some Sly Stone DJing. Let me see if I can find some audio of him DJing. Let me see if I can find some audio of him DJing. From the DJing, that's when he formed his band in late 1966. Sly and the Family Stone. Here's some audio of him DJing right here. People don't know he's a DJ first. So hip hop, you didn't start no shit, nothing with no starting things around the DJ. A lot of R&B, funk, a lot of that was centered around the DJ too. Jazz too, swing. A lot of DJs that played a heavy, prominent role in that. This motherfucker don't want to play. Yeah, I'm about to replace you niggas with Spectrum. Here we go.
Just like this portion of the Soul Sounds of KSOL Radio is being brought to you by the hosts of Music Record Shop at 8417 East 14th Street in Oakland, where they are having the 59-cent sales. All the records you are now hearing are on sale for just 59 cents. Just listen to the top tunes.
Their records. Listen closely. Just Be Sincere, Jackie Wilson. Girls Ride to Get You, The Fascinations. The Girl Don't Care, Gene Chandler, Jimmy Mack, Martin the Vandellas. Dry Your Eyes, Brendan the Tabulations. Do the Thing, Lou Courtney. Greatest Love, ZZ Hill. 59-cent sale records, and I'm not jiving about that.
Don't forget to stop by today.
Y'all see how they had that little rap? That was common amongst DJs at that time in the 60s and the 50s. DJs all across America, from Frankie Crocker to Sly Stone, had a rap. And that's where a lot of your rapping over DJing is born out of that culture. And Sly Stone played a major part of that on the West Coast. You know, out of Sly Stone and Sly and the Family Stone, what they did was, the thing that made Sly and the Family Stone so great, that was the first band to have men and women, a lead trumpet, his sister Cynthia Stone. That was the first to have a lead women are leading in a horn section. You also had white musicians. I mean, them motherfuckers was cold. Joe Picard was not Jeff Picard. I'm drawing his name. I forgot. Why am I forgetting the drummer's name? The white boy. That motherfucker was cold too. Oh, I'm forgetting his name right now. I'll get it. But that white boy on drums is cold than a motherfucker. And then that's where you also had Larry Graham, Drake's uncle, got his start with Sly and the Family Stone. And out of Sly and the Family Stone, you get thump bass. Songs like Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again. When you hear this right here, when you listening to whether rock and roll, when you hear this right here, that was the first time a bass string was plucked. Before that, the bass players played on top of the strings. Larry Graham came with hitting that thumb, thumping it, and plucking it. That thumb pluck method. Don't. That thumb pluck method. And I will leave it to a bass player to explain that better. I'm not a bass player. I'm a drummer. I just know what I hear. That thumb bass, that gave a new texture to the bass that basically went into the sound of the Moog. A lot of your Moog sounds, when you listen to like songs like Thriller, da-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, da-dun-dun-dun, that's sort of mimicking a thump bass. Larry Graham, out of Sly and the Family Stone. So you get that element, that aspect that Sly Stone brought to the music. And also, you get somebody who played all the instruments. People talk about Stevie Wonder, people talk about Prince. And this generation thinks Prince is, and I love Prince, no disrespect to Prince, but for some reason, my generation and younger, I think Prince is the only person to play every instrument in the studio. Prince is one of the greatest to ever play every instrument in the studio. But the fact is, a lot of our musicians also play every instrument in the studio, like Patrice Rushen and Sly Stone. Sly was one of the first, because before you got to 8-track recording, one musician couldn't play every song. There was like single track. Before 1966, 65, there was only single track recording or double track, meaning they could record a singer. When it was double track, meaning the singer had a track and the whole band had its own track. Before the 60s, it was single track recording. So that means it was the singer was off here in the booth on the side singing, but the band was over here in one room and they just had to play that shit. So even though a lot of those musicians could play every instrument, the recording capabilities did not allow them to. Sly Stone came up at a time that the recording capabilities went from double track to 4-track to 8-track to 16 to 32 track. And as you start getting in the 16 and 32 track recording, you can then lay down a drum part and then lay down a bass part and then lay these different parts down and put them all together. So Sly Stone was one of the first to ever do that. Sly Stone was also, when you listen to Sly and the Family Stone, one of the first to use a drum machine. They were one of the first to use a drum machine on this song right here. That's a drum machine. That's a drum machine. That's a kind of a remake, but the original Family Affair. It's that was the one that they did later on. But that was the original. It wasn't the original recording, but that was a re-recording by Sly. But if you go and find the original, and that was one of the first songs to lay down a drum track. So you had that original drum track playing under here. Here's the original on a here's the original. That's a drum machine. It's real drums layered on top of a drum machine. And all of this is going to go into the talk that we're about to have today about hip hop, because rest in peace to Sly Stone. But all of this is going to go into the conversation that we're going to later have about hip hop. One second. Let me see. I have a guest coming on. I have a guest coming on that I had to go ahead and send a text to. But anyway, Sly Stone, when it comes to using that drum machine, they used that drum machine first, and then layered the drums on top of it. One of the first. He also played a huge role in other bands. Like he co-wrote. People don't even know that Sly Stone co-wrote and played on a lot of Funkadelic songs. He was like a de facto member of Parliament Funkadelic later on, when Sly and the Family Stones run sort of phased out. When Parliament when after Sly and the Family Stones started to sort of phase out, Sly Stone went ahead and played with Funkadelic. I'm trying to look for one of the songs. Oh yeah, because that's why I'm in Apple Music. I gotta go to my library. My library is more extensive than Apple Music's library. I got songs that y'all can't find on Apple Music like this. Sly's on that. He plays on that song in the studio, not just knee deep. That's Felipe Wynn singing lead, rest in peace, from the Spinners. You have what's her name from Earth and the Fire and the she rest in peace. You had Junie Morrison, man. You had so many, but Sly Stone. I wasn't gonna start the show off. Who can predict Sly Stone dying right before you go live? So I'm gonna get to the topic in a second, but there's like no way in Sam fuck hell I was going to be able to start this show getting that kind of news and not acknowledge Sly Stone. Sly Stone is one of the greatest to ever do it. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. And we all got to give love and attention and adoration to those who did it and those who did it best. You dig what I'm saying? My screen look blurry. Hold on. Let me wipe this shit off. This shit looks stupid. How about now? That's better. That shit was looking stupid. Why don't y'all tell me? All right, cool. We here now. We here. All right, so we're going to get into it. The real versus the fake. Welcome, chat room. Thank y'all for joining. Rest in peace, Sly Stone. A true cornerstone, man. Like, when you talk about a cornerstone in music, he is a cornerstone. Especially when we talk about funk, man. I know Midwest, y'all like to jump on it. I get it. The world don't like giving y'all a whole lot. And the Midwest truly is the cradle of funk. It really is. But the Midwest doesn't become the cradle of funk. Funk doesn't live and thrive without the wrinkle in time that Sly and the Family Stone put on it. They brought the psychedelic funk. When they brought the psychedelic funk, it was so funky. Sly Stone do y'all know that Sly Stone was the one, he was influencing Miles Davis? Miles Davis started to dress more like Sly Stone. And when Sly Stone when he took James Brown's funk and put that psychedelic Bay Area soul on it, it changed Jimi Hendrix's music. See, after Sly Stone, Jimi Hendrix, right before he died, was coming over into the funk because of Sly Stone. When Sly Stone dropped, Parliament Funkadelic was a doo-wop rock and roll band. The Ohio Players were a jazz band. Sly and the Family Stone is what got these bands that we now know as the greatest funk bands of all time to change their sound. Same with the Bar-Kays. The Bar-Kays were a backing doo-wop style rhythm and blues band. Sly and the Family Stone put that funk on them. Sly and the Family Stone was so important that it changed jazz. Miles Davis's Bitches Brew album, this wasn't Davis responding to other jazz acts. This was Davis responding to Sly and the Family Stone. John Coltrane had passed along. At this point, jazz had, for the most part, on the acoustic sound, maxed out as far as it could go. And Bitches Brew. That is because of Sly and the Family Stone. That's the monumental effect that he had and how he helped push the sound forward. Okay? So if you came here to hear about hip-hop, learn who hip-hop's daddy is. And you'll understand hip-hop a lot better when you understand who hip-hop's mommy, daddy, grandmama, granddaddy is. And you'll find out that as much as we love hip-hop, what hit the beauty in hip-hop was bringing all of these elements that we've been doing together. And not just b-boying and graffiti. I'm talking about music elements. Bringing them together, wrapping them up, and rapping over top. That's what rap is. It's a rapping of Black American music culture being tied together by a DJ and a rapper wrapping up their MCing gifts and repackaging and re-wrapping up what we've been doing. And that's the beauty in rap, and that's the beauty in hip-hop. And that's how we're going to start today's show. Real hip-hop versus industry plants. And what got me onto this topic was this. What got me up onto this topic was this. Yesterday, I went to the Hollywood Bowl. And make sure y'all share this shit. I don't know what the fuck YouTube is doing my goddamn numbers lately, but they do this all the time. Make sure y'all hit share. Make sure y'all hit like. Went to the Hollywood Bowl yesterday, and it was a dope show. Hip hop class of '95, and boy, it did not disappoint. It is the Roots Picnic here in LA. This is the second time that they've done it. And both shows have been amazing, and it really is hip-hop at its best. Hip-hop at its zenith. At the end of the show, Questlove threw the drum head, and La, thank you for catching it, but I kind of had to I was kind of rude in how I took this, but we took it from a loved one, because it hit me first, and then, but this is a drum head that Questlove threw. And I'm glad I got it because Questlove is the reason why I wanted to do this show. This man, the Roots, put on a 3-hour performance where the band played behind every rapper that came out. And I know I've said things on this show because I vehemently disagree with a lot of things Questlove talks about politically. But at the end of the day, musically, I got to give that man his credit. Man, that motherfucker is a music god. The pocket that he laid down on the drums, look who came out. Havoc, the Goody Mob, E40, Raekwon, DJ Quick, Bone, Method and Red, and Lil Kim. And the Roots played behind all them the whole night. And every rapper rapped their own lyrics. They didn't have a backing track. People were out there performing their asses off, still looked good, still sounded good. And it made me feel good because, on the opposite end of hip hop, this past Friday, Lil Wayne album came out, and I was like, damn, that sucked. That album was atrocious. And not to judge the man, but I've always said on this channel, when you get to the 2000s, that's when the quality of rap really dove down, and the quality of artists they started to sign and push. And although these people would never in a million years know themselves as industry plants, I call them that, and I call them that for a reason. The industry plants people in position to win, especially in the 2000s, that weren't the best of the best. They were still great because, like I always say, black talent is a dime a dozen. Was somebody that can still sell 1 million records, to the world, if you line them up with 15 or 20 other black people, if you get 20 black artists together, you could take the 19th most talented one and make them a superstar. Because that 19th most talented one is still more talented than most of the world. You know what I mean? It's like taking somebody from the developmental league and having them play basketball against weekend warriors. That person's going to look like a fucking Hall of Famer. They're not really good enough to make it to the NBA, but they're so much better than the rest of us, we don't know the difference. And they really started to push that in the 2000s. But in the before 96, 97, my man is going to call him later on, he has a different timeline than me. My timeline is 98, 99, 98. The artists that got on pre-98, in my opinion, just what I see, these are the ones that we chose as the people. The people made the right decisions. The people chose great artists. It was in the 2000s that the corporations started choosing our stars for us. It was then that they started choosing who the stars were, because at that point, the 96 Telecommunications Act had gone through. So the corporatization of terrestrial radio, one company can own all 5 stations in one city, both hip hop stations, both R&B stations, both country stations, and choose who to push to the top. That didn't happen before 96 because, one, the industry didn't know what to do with hip hop yet. They were figuring it out, but they didn't yet know what to do with it. You had a lot of black-owned labels that was getting the hottest artists in the street. And the streets was deciding on the Friday night mixdown on 92.3 The Beat here in LA and Power 106. And each one of your cities had a radio station that played the hot cat from your town. And those are the people that got pushed up back in the 90s and before. And last night, I was really able to see that particular style of a rapper, they're still doing it. And they still sound good. And I'm about to play some for y'all. Hold on. I'm about to play some for y'all. Share. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. There we go. I'm about to play some of the shit. Right. Where did the shit go? Where the fuck? Come on, QuickTime, where you at? I got way too many windows open. All right, this is Mobb Deep. We're gonna play some of it. This is Mobb Deep last night. I'm playing a little bit of video from everybody last night.
There ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. They never around with a beat. In my part of town, yeah, similar to Vietnam. Now we all grown up and all that we on the cops control. You better have a right, get ready. Gotta back me and get rock steady. Bottom back on double, I cut you and leave you enough. Most of the whole way, after this kick, I'm up in the midst of action. And right at home, but alive, relaxing. We don't got a nigga to press. I wear slug crew underneath my vest. So bless my soul. Before I put my foot down, never get it slow. Until the time I'm built, and all finish will soon be kept.
See, I gotta give. See, man, Questlove, for him to hold this shit down for 3 hours. I did a show last year where I had to play the drums for a 10-minute set, and I don't really play regularly anymore. Mike, I'm gonna have you hold on. I'm gonna have you come on about 10 minutes, about 5 minutes, all right? But you stay there. All right, but I played like a 10-minute set, and my foot was boining. And my man, I'm gonna have come on in a little bit. Mike Robertson. He asked me to play the drums sometimes. He does a once a quarter comedy show that's dope as hell. And sometimes he has me play the drums on it, and I play the drums for shits and giggles. I don't play like I used to play anymore. You know what I mean? I don't play like I used to play anymore. So I was fucked up. For this nigga to be playing for 3 hours, and do y'all know how much it takes to remember this many songs? This is the Goody Mob, CeeLo, Big Gipp. Sing it, CeeLo. That's some soulful shit right there. I don't give a fuck what you say. That Big Gipp also? Yeah, Big Gipp here. I'd rather die than to continue living this way. No one seems to really know. Man, see, that's what the South gotta say. You hear that soul? That's what we need the South for in hip hop. We need that. Man, this shit made me want to cook some goddamn oxtails and gravy. That's what that's the real South. That's the South that we chose. Not the corporate entity. That's the South that we chose. This is more Goody Mob. It's the rigor mortis, like. I love it simple. Like, look at these cats, man. They ain't forgetting no lines. They ain't forgetting no lyrics. These cats is bringing it. Then you have Bone. People don't talk about Bone now. See, Bone, they did some impossible shit, man. These motherfuckers was harmonizing and singing it and rapping better. They was singing better than your favorite doo-wop group, and they was rapping better than your favorite rapping group. That's how dope Bone was. You can hear some Lil' Kim right here. this is straight up music at its best. You know what I mean? None of that BS. Nobody tripping over nobody else's shit. You know what I mean? There's one more video I want to play before I got to my guest. I'm looking for it. And where in the hell did it go? Here it is. What's that DJ Quick? I probably would do it. I probably should title these goddamn videos. Cause there's some LA shit going on right here with DJ Quick got on stage. Where that Quick video at? Where that Quick video at? Come on now. Was it this one? Yeah. It's hard for us to pick the first single. It don't matter cause I'm underground anyway. I'm rich ballin', bitch, all the fly any day. You dirty niggas, y'all too whack today. Show me the ease up on the ground for y'all switch y'all beds. And leave that up to my niggas, y'all fly niggas. Get down, do it live niggas, don't try niggas. I change my mind cause I'm rich cause sorry ass bitches don't get rich, you can keep up. I'd rather have a Fifi bag because it's cheaper. You can't come up in here now and get deeper. And my hold is so cold. Man, look. You look at what it's doing to people. Look at what the music is doing to folks, man. Look at what the music, you can't, this is what Kendrick said, you can't fake influence. You cannot fake influence, yo. You cannot fake influence. That was the bone one. I wanted to show y'all this last one for Method and Red, and then we gonna get on to my guest because I have a lot of these windows. Let me close this window. I got a lot of these windows open, but I'm just showing like the effect of last night. I mean, this was some shit, and I'm gonna put. I only gave y'all some of the videos. I'm gonna put these up, the rest of the videos up on my Patreon. I'm gonna put the rest of the videos up on my Patreon. But look at Method and Red. These motherfuckers was getting it, man, and like I'm trying to get just show y'all like how many people were like this is before the show. This is like right as the show was starting. Cause I had to go smoke. This is like right. This is the vibe up in here. This is the vibe yesterday. Pack the fuck out. Celebrating hip hop. Up there. Yeah. Celebrating hip hop like a motherfucker last night. The real versus the authentic. It was just. This was an hour before the show started. This is an hour before the show started. This is kind of energy up in there an hour before the show started. That's what I love about the Hollywood Bowl. You bring your own shit. Yeah, man. But that was the class of '95. That's the name of the title of the show. He's talking, and I was talking to a friend that was there yesterday at the show. My boy Mike Robertson. Y'all, those who are regulars here, y'all know Mike. Mike is somebody who I appreciate so goddamn much. it was they dope seeing him. We was having a conversation last night on when it all changed, and he had his own idea. So I want Mike to come on and talk. First of all, just talk about what you saw last night, Mike. What we saw. I want to welcome everybody, Mike Robertson. And where the
Yo,
hell?
yo.
And why ain't Mike on the camera?
Yo, yo, yo.
I see you here, Mike, but I'm trying to figure out why you ain't on. There you are.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to figure out why in the hell it's only showing you like this and not the whole on my end, not your end, my end. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Why it's not showing well, hold on 1 second. Why it's not showing you the right way? I don't want to see no entire screen. I want to see Zoom, nigga. There we go. There we go. I got you now, Mike.
What up? What up?
What's up, Mike? For those you don't know, Mike, Mike, tell them who you are, who you've been on tour with. For those of you who these new folks right here don't know who you are and your history in hip hop, then we gonna get into it.
Okay. Can you hear me? All right.
We hear you good, brother.
Okay. Yeah, man. I'm Mike Robertson from LA. They call me King Mike Boogie, man. You know what I mean? I'm original LA. I should call it original Inglewood B-boy. You know what I'm saying? First graffiti artist from Inglewood. I've been a beat maker. I've been doing a little bit with the Wheels of Steel, you know what I'm saying? And shit, I've been on the road, like Dewan said, with a gang of tours. Mary J, Danger Mouse, Eminem, Exhibit, Dog Pound, all these guys, So I've been just around the whole thing, man, forever. My crew back in the day was Coucher Jeep Productions. We was part of the Sick Block crew out of Inglewood. And yeah, man, we well known out here, man. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know you were because you were just going around last night. Everybody was there. Everybody, what's up, Mike? Because it was
Yeah.
everybody was there last night. That shit was beautiful, dog.
Man, it was beautiful, man. I'm gonna tell you, man, that was one of the greatest nights in hip hop, and believe me, man, I have seen them all, man. And just to see the Roots bring together this group of people, man, and to see those people still shining, man, at this age after all this time, and that music still being good music, man. It's just timeless, man.
Yeah.
So that was great. It just was like love in the air, man. I was happy to see everybody. I saw you. I was like, the one right over here. Oh shit, man. And it was nice, man. The shit was great, man. I've been thinking about it. I've been on a high all day, all night today. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
official, bro. This is lovely. That's all I can just say is lovely. Good to see Quick up there. It's like I got to see my favorite groups all together at one time with the baddest band in the game providing the music for them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about the Roots, man. Like, they don't, like, Black Dog don't get his credit because he was able to jump in on whoever wasn't there from the rap crew. Black Dog was able to jump in and rap that rapper's parts like them. Like when he was covering Biggie on Get Money, it was like, dude, we got Black Dog rapping Biggie's lines, and people don't, man. Let's talk about the Roots and how much they mean, man.
Okay, look, so Black Thought, not only did he rhyme Biggie's rhymes, but he did it in his style and in his flow. And also, it wasn't just Biggie, whoever else was in there, like Wu-Tang members. He did Prodigy's lines on the Mobb Deep parts. I mean, he knows everybody's rhymes, bro. It's like a gift, man. He got another thing happening up there, bro, because he is like a gifted MC that knows all his rhymes and he knows everybody else's. And he's a major spitter. And the thing about Black Thought is everybody in the game knows Black Thought, man. Honestly, if you really want to talk about it, should be in that top 5, at least top 10 discussion, man. It's damn near mandatory. But since the group shines so brightly, he never got that separation from the Roots to really get pushed out there like the greatest MC conversations, because he's so associated with the group, which is good. And they also got other MCs in the group, whether it's Dice Raw, you know what I mean? They had Rozelle was a part of the group in the beginning. So they just hard, man. They brought Jill Scott to the game. I mean, can we just keep going on? I mean, it's
Yeah,
roots. It's
it's
the
one of them
roots.
things where it's like, and I never liked that about hip hop. How why should he have to be separated from the roots? If we talking about MC, we talking about MCing.
That's
Why
right.
what like so because they have a live band that don't make them hip hop? What are we talking about here?
Oh, we definitely not talking about it. Don't make them hip hop. That's 100% hip hop. It's a hip hop band instead of a DJ. They got the band getting busy, and they have a DJ up there too to do some cuts and scratches. But it's fully hip hop, 100%. I just threw that theory out there just because he's so good and so gifted that
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be that tie to the group that doesn't give him that MC royalty,
Mm-hmm.
because you think everybody on the top of the list, whoever you want to name, they soloists, or you know what I mean? They really all soloists, honestly.
Yeah.
All the top MCs are soloists, or they breakouts from a group. So
But
I
even
just think that's it.
even when you dealing with a soloist though, when you dealing with a soloist, they still got to work with a producer. They still got to work with somebody that's bringing the
Oh
music.
yeah, oh
But it's
yeah.
something somehow because the roots is tied to a band and not one DJ that marginalizes them. But then you hear the beauty of hip hop in a night like last night. You see the beauty of what hip hop sounds like with a live sound. When you
Mm-hmm.
layer the DJ with a live band playing parts on top of it, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the sound that gets projected through that audience and through that venue, it just takes hip hop to a whole nother level when it's produced with traditional American instruments on top of the DJ.
Yeah, and let's talk about that so everybody's clear. It's not like they playing along the DJ's musical track. That's not happening. They're playing the song 100%. It's just certain songs the DJ comes in with the
Yeah.
it's that part, this type shit, the DJ coming in. They playing everybody's full songs, man, and they've been doing it. See, the thing is, the Roots started doing that in the '90s before it was a thing. They would just come through in the middle of their show. They'll bust out like 20 quick 4-bar, 8-bar hits of a group song, and Black Thought was doing it back then, man. So I just want to make sure they get their full props, man, because they are doing full music, bro, for everybody. Full.
Real talk, real talk. So let's get into it. We had a conversation last night, and we
Mm-hmm.
were talking about when they started to screw off hip hop and when the death knell of hip hop came in.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I say it started in 98, 99, and I thought the final nail in the coffin was when Lil Wayne got to the top. Because of that,
Uh-huh.
because of what he was doing. And I thought that was like that was like the transition period, 98 to 06, but 06 when Lil Wayne got there, 05, I said, nah, that's it. You had a different timeline, and when you gave me your timeline, and that shit made me go, and I
Uh-huh.
couldn't find a
Uh-huh.
goddamn thing you said. Like, one, I don't want to
Uh-huh.
fight what you said. I just like to, I got my,
Yeah.
it's just like, I couldn't find any holes in your argument in what you were saying. For those of you out there, Mike is one of my resources on hip hop, and he's somebody I really consider my equal when it comes to my music, when it comes to music history and breaking some of this shit down. He's somebody who's always just made me just go, what the fuck? I didn't think about it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what's
Mm-hmm.
your point of view on when the shit changed?
Okay, so to me, right, the death of hip hop, right, and I'm going to explain it. The death of it came from a single kill shot, and that came from 50 Cent in
Ooh.
2003.
Oh.
The Get Rich and Die Trying was a single kill shot. So let me explain what I'm talking about, right? Because up until 2003, it was still going up, 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 up. We had the two DMX platinum albums.
Yeah.
We had all this Jay-Z had did his run and everything. And then it just started to really run up. When Nelly hit, he sold 9 million albums in 2000. Then you had Eminem, Marshall Mathers sold 25 million albums. You know what I'm saying? We had other side hip hop shit going on, like Sean Paul with some dancehall shit. He sold 10 million. Lauryn Hill, In 1999, she sold 10 million. Oh no, Lauren sold 20 million. And that was singing and hip hop, but she a raw MC. So nobody can't even play with that at all. Um, all these heights were being recognized, man, and it was just pushing higher and higher and higher, right? Then 50 Cent came out, man, and basically, man, destroyed New York single-handedly.
Whoa! It single-handedly destroyed New York.
Single-handedly. And New York was the heartbeat of hip-hop, bro. It was the heartbeat. It was the shit that, even though West Coast had their run, the South was beginning a real run. Let me not leave out Outkast, because they sold 10 million records too, right in that time, right in 2003.
Love Below.
50 Cent was so hard, and he had shitted on everybody on How to Rob cut, and he was just so raw and real, and he did it without New York. That was the kill shot. He came to LA and got the LA production. He got LA, he had LA marketing team, he had LA backings from the labels, everything was LA with 50 Cent. And he just came with the raw shit that niggas had not seen from New York, bro. And he was just so hard that New York couldn't recover. He ran the radios for like 3 years. 50 Cent came out with another album that sold 10 million records, right? And it was just no rebounding from New York. So when that happened, right? What hot New York record came out after 2003? I really only can name maybe like two. And I'm gonna say Mos Def had a hot album where it was front to back. And Ghostface came out with the Supreme Clientele, surprised everybody. But who else had the flawless New York rap album since 2003 up to today? I'm going all the way up to today. No one has. When you look at the sales after 50 Cent, they went down. Sales were no longer going this way. It's like the Titanic, right? Once that glacier hit, the ship didn't sink immediately. It took some time for it to sink, and fools were still on there dancing, still shining. Dudes was playing the drums while the shit was sinking. It was a sinking ship, bro. It was a sinking, and it was the glacier that did it. Before the glacier hit the boat, right? You had all the riches. You had everybody partying. They had optimism. It was a new world happening.
Yeah, it
But
was.
but that glacier changed everything. 50 Cent is the glacier, bro. Now, you said Nelly. Nelly was important because he got the sales up. He still was pushing upward. DMX was still pushing upward. And Eminem, like him or not, right? Which I happen to like him, he was pushing upward. Eminem was about the raw raps and hip hop and spitting.
I'll give him that credit. I do give him that credit. He was about rapping.
Yeah,
I'll give him that credit.
he lived and breathed it, right? Now
Yeah.
there's lots to say, but the rap part of it, you can't take it from him.
Yeah.
Now, it ain't his fault that he's a young white boy that's crazy and all the white fans around the world were gonna love him and push him up to 20 million, 25 million. It ain't really his fault. But nonetheless, he took it to a height. So I just want to talk about that height and then what made it go down. And it was 50 Cent, 2003. That's what I'm saying.
And it's funny you say that because when we talked about that last night, when you started out, because I'm more so looking at it from the point of view of content.
Artistically.
I'm looking at it artistically.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
artistically, the artists that combined being raw, being connecting to the people. I don't just say the streets because black people are more than streets. We the people. Connecting to the people and also giving, along with party music and fun music, having certain content that does something to affect your life. I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. That speaks to a condition that we all go through. And when you listen to that after the artists that came in after '98 stopped. The reason I point towards Nelly because it went from because everyone had party music that wasn't talking about shit. Everybody had
Yeah.
degenerate music. That go back
Yeah.
to the blues. That ain't got nothing to do with just hip hop. That's funk,
Yeah.
R&B, blues, country. Everybody got degenerate music. So
Exactly.
I'm never gonna pin that into hip hop. But what I do is when Nelly came was when the balance left. That's when you started with that whole when it went completely. It was just gonna be party and bullshit, women, and nothing on the other side to have some. Too Short would talk about pimping and then write the ghetto. Too Short would talk about them. He would write cocktails, but he would also write. And he always had that
Uh,
balance. You know, people
uh,
always had the balance. When you get to
uh,
2000, the balance just swung away, and it
uh,
just stopped really slowly, not right away, but
uh-huh,
slowly talking less and less and less to us as the people. And the only
uh-huh,
thing it did have to say to us was sex, money, drugs, bullshit without the life game content.
uh-huh,
Everybody used to balance Nas. Everybody
uh-huh,
used to balance whatever they was talking about with some
uh-huh,
life game content. You know what
uh-huh,
I mean? And
uh-huh.
because we're everything. We're deep and we're shallow. We're profound and profane. We're all of that
Yeah.
shit. So
Yeah.
music is supposed to reflect all the conditions. When it got to Nelly, he was the first one that got to the top that only spoke to really. I won't say the first. He's not the first, but that's when the overall when it got to be normal. That's when it got to be normal for the guy that got there to really give us nothing else. But when you go to what you said, I'm not debating you. I'm like you're
I'm
giving
hearing this
me
point though.
you're
I'm with you
giving
on
me
this point.
more to add like
Mm-hmm.
a different perspective because of what you're saying. You're talking about okay the growth of the sound because you thought you brought in something that I wasn't thinking about. And up until '03, you're right. You had the Love Below speaker box that dropped that year. You had
10
that was around
million.
time of Common. I think that's when B dropped by Common. It was either it was after like Water for Chocolate. You had that sound of the Midwest. You had that would talk about a little bit of everything. You're right. You had all these different things, but after '03, everything became either fuckboy lyrics or gangsterism lyrics, and nothing to really balance that. And 50 was one of those guys that had no balance. Also, this nigga talked about coming in that song "Window Shopper." Coming to LA, I'm gonna come to LA, stopping by Compton, Watson. What the fuck you want to Compton for,
The
nigga?
window shopper.
You rich. What the fuck you going to Watts for when you come to LA? Making everything seem tough. So I can't I can't disagree with you right there at all. No
So
point you made.
let me tell you what's a cold game about 50 Cent too, because he he snuck love songs type shit into the album right before niggas' eyes, and they didn't really get that he was doing it. Like 21 Questions. you- um that shit is a sing-along.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like he sweated Ja Rule, which he murdered his career for doing that shit,
I'm
and he hit
thankful
it.
for that. I
Yeah,
hated Ja Rule.
yeah, he
I'm
needed it.
always thankful to 50 for that. Woo.
See, there's always these peripheral dudes in the game that stole their shit from somebody. So when you talk about creatively, right? You got a good point because everybody by that point has stolen everybody's styles already, all these various types of styles, and nobody was coming up with nothing new. There are some, so fools are gonna be like, what about so and so? There are a
There
few,
are
right?
always some.
But when you listen to a person, you say, who fathered your style? Okay? Who fathered your style? Any MC you could think about, I could tell you who fathered their style. And after you get to the point where there's no more fathers, everybody sounds the same or sounds like somebody else. Niggas, where's the new fathers? Now
Right?
you still had some that came out like there's like a Gucci Mane who damn near everybody in the South really sounds like. If you want to just be honest, um, there's like see man, I'm running out, bro. There's I'm really running out. Even like, of course, there's Kendrick. So let me give him his love because he's so versatile.
Yeah.
He got about a million styles.
Yeah, he
You
really
can't say And that's my point. You can't say nobody fathered Kendrick's style.
Yeah.
You can't say it.
The only thing because he doesn't stick to one style. The only thing you can say there are rappers like you got someone like a 3000 that has multiple styles, but
Yeah.
3000's multiple styles are different than Kendrick's multiple styles. You can tell Kendrick, and you can hear the strain of Tupac and Kendrick and what he does. But it's like that's what innovation is. Innovation is the third step. Imitation is the first step. Is three steps to innovation: imitation, assimilation, then to innovation. We
Yeah.
all copy at first. But what
Yeah.
happens is, what's happened in music really since 2003 is a lot of people haven't gotten past the copying stage.
That's right.
And then you have the assimilation stage to where you sound like yourself, but you still sound like them. You sort of starting to show yourself a little bit, but you can still see the base of it is still this guy over here. And then the innovation stage where it's like what Herbie Hancock said about jazz. Herbie Hancock said he learned this from Miles Davis because Miles Davis went to Juilliard. He said you learn everything there is to know about music. And then once you learn it all, you forget it. And that's where jazz is. That's where true MCing is in hip hop. You learn everything there is about, you learn all the rules so you know where the markers are, and then you get rid of it and you create something new. And that's what it was building up to, like you said, up until 03. It was always, okay, that's new. That's new.
That's new.
Oh, shit.
Exactly.
Oh, you heard this shit? Yo.
Oh, exactly. And you had these little one-offs where, they didn't blow up, the world don't know them, but they were still pushing the envelope, man. You had like the Corrupts in the world, man. It did Streets is a Mother. That's one of the best albums ever made, man. And that came out in 2000. And he don't get that shine like that. There's other albums like Sean P. and, like I said, Black Star and some of those groups, dude, that's just the baddest dudes in their own right, but it didn't get that blow up. So let's talk about that, because DMX came out and killed the game. He killed everybody when he came out. There was no disputing it, right? And he had that feeling, and he had prayer, and he had rawness, and he had evil. This nigga shit was crazy, right? He came out with that creativity that we didn't see again. And so what happens is, as radio becomes more prevalent, this hard ass shit that kept getting pushed out, the envelope kept getting pushed higher and higher, started to lose in the radio.
Yeah, like Little Brother. I forgot about Little Brother, man. Hell yeah. Fonte.
Yeah. Little Brother. That's another one, right? Where they did the listening, they did the minstrel show or whatever. But you can even just say them too, man. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, the shit didn't stay dope. Let's talk about Kanye. Kanye was a backpacker rapper, which, came in with the Raucous group and all that type of shit. He didn't come in with them, but that was a movement, and he was very good with his beat making, very good on the sampling, and he just Kanye. He wants to be the best. He's gonna drive himself. But his greatest works was the first two. You could maybe give him the three. And I did like Dark Twisted Fantasy. But my point is, we're talking about a couple people, man. We're just talking about a couple people. Before then, there were so many hot fucking albums. And I could just keep going on with Nas got 3 or 4 of them. You could give Jay what you want to give to him. Pac was still putting out records when he was dead. And so that was another thing that was happening that people don't realize is Pac kept releasing. They kept putting out new Pac shit. And everybody was copying Pac. Ja Rule is another Pac. Even as dope as DMX is, he's fathered by Pac.
Right.
Let's just say this, man. You could also throw 50 in there. 50 is kind of fathered by Pac.
Oh, he's most definitely fathered by Pac. He's I always call 50 a bastardized Pac. He had the gangster lover side, but he didn't have the love for humanity side.
That's right. That's right.
And that's why I was
His heart was cold.
and that's why I was rolling with your point about 50. Because not
Mm-hmm.
only was it with 50's music, also his TV. 50 is also a child of Ice Cube when it comes to film. But
Yes.
Cube gave us Friday, something that the social, black person, middle class, lower class, upper class, every week, and non-black people, you talk about the numbers, everybody came around Friday. An innocent comedy film. It pushed
Yeah.
the envelope a little bit with the weed use. At the time, that was pushing
Mm-hmm.
the envelope. In
Mm-hmm.
95, putting weed in the film like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that part of it was pushing the envelope at the time. But
Mm-hmm.
and people understand how unsafe that was. I show people smoking weed
Yeah.
on camera. That was very
Yeah.
unsafe. He
We
took
could
a
not
huge
do it.
risk. But no matter what race you are, you got a Debo in your neighborhood. You
Mm-hmm.
got people, most people in the neighborhood, after they get off work, it's a handful of people starting businesses and doing some grand things. The other 85% just want to get off work, pull out a
Yeah.
beer, smoke some weed, see some shit going on, go to sleep, go to work. That's most of the world.
Look, you got the little girl on your block who everybody likes, but she go to a private school and her mom keeps her in the house. You know, you got that. You got the preacher dude. You got the lady that lives alone in the house, all fine. Niggas don't know what's wrong with her.
Hey, Mike, you keep talking. I gotta go tell my gardener to cut some shit he ain't cut. I'll be right back in 30
Okay.
seconds.
Yeah, you got the Friday just showed it all. You got the lowriders, you had the Mexicans in there that's really growing up in the same neighborhood, and they the homies too. Friday just was a phenomenon. But really it comes down to Ice Cube, who back again, a father of styles. Ice Cube, see, the East Coast ran everything. Every MC was the best from the East Coast, and they had them all. And I could go down a full list. It wasn't until Ice Cube that the West really had some lyricism. It wasn't until Ice Cube was the first baddest dude from the West that could really rap against anyone, that really had the #1 record in the country 2 times in a row, from America's Most Wanted and then a death certificate. Nobody could see Ice Cube during those years, and it's hard to think about this. Like, oh, Ice Cube, the actor, the director. No, Ice Cube was the baddest
Right.
rapper in the game for a 3-year stretch. Period.
Yeah.
Nobody was seeing Ice Cube with America's Most Wanted and Death Certificate were out. It's a wrap, bro.
It's a rap. And so you had that Ice Cube making movies, and then you go from the barbershop series to from that series to the barbershop series,
Yeah.
which is something that changed the culture. Remember, and that's why even to this day, when the Democrats want to talk to black people, what do? They send
They
Al
go to a
Sharpton to a barbershop. They send
barbershop.
Obama to a barbershop. They
They
send
do.
Kamala to a barbershop. All of that, like people just see that as normal now.
Yeah.
Barbershop, the that stupid ass what's that guy, that Math Hoffa in the barbershop.
Yeah.
All of that was born out of Ice Cube's movie, The Barbershop.
Yep.
And then Cube showed love and went to Chicago, the home of Black America, the center of Black America, Chicago, to film that movie. It wasn't
Mhm.
just about keeping everything LA and West Coast. It was about bringing, everything together. You know what I mean? And then
Mhm.
you go from there to the family series, Are We There Yet? And you get
Yeah.
that. And then, but when 50 come along, it's Get Rich or Die Trying. And 99% of the niggas died trying.
That's right.
And it goes from there to Raising
Nope.
Canaan.
With no compassion.
No
50
compassion.
came out with no compassion for the game, for no one. I remember this quote from 50, man, that struck my heart. It was cold, right? It's a simple question. They said, well, what do you think about the kids? Or what do you do for the kids? He said, I don't do nothing for the kids. I just do something for my kid.
That
And I'm
whole
like,
mindset.
it's the whole, exactly. I only care about my kid. And that's an introduction to the coldness that's in the game. And really, you kind of could see it in our music, in the youngsters, man, the YNs. It's like still here, man. I'm telling you, 50. New York has not. The game has not um survived that kill shot. As much as a run that the South had, because the South done had a run, man. They best guys though, they're not putting out good music, man. There's no more, bro. There's no
You're
more.
right.
Where is
After Outkast and the Goody Mob, when they started to come in, that 2000 Ti and Post, Ludacris
look,
was in the Ludacris just had fun music. But when you started to
Ludacris?
get to
Mm-hmm.
when you started to get to the trap, see,
Mm-hmm.
Outkast was saying on the song Spotty Out of Double-Licious Angel, now you find yourself in a trap. Just
Mm-hmm.
that, trapped.
A trap.
They were telling
Mm-hmm.
you in Spotty Out of Double-Licious Angel that the trap is a trap.
That's still the 90s.
And you're right. And then T.I. came out with trap music and it glorified the trap. A
Mm-hmm.
place that is a trap. And
It
now
is
the
a
reason why
trap.
I think it's important that we have these conversations, for you lame brain simple motherfuckers, y'all gonna be like, "What are you just hating?" Fuck y'all. To everybody else, we're having these conversations because we as a group, we're not perfect. We gotta find
Right.
where things changed and understand where that happened to get it back. We're not dissing the trap. We're saying the glorification of the trap. And then from the glorification of the trap, it then devolves into drill. Trap was before drill.
Exactly.
And it kept getting lower. The bass, well, we can't say there was innovation. The innovation was into the drug culture versus
Yeah.
the song "Dope Man" by NWA was saying, "Dope man, if you keep dealing dope, I'm gonna put a slug in your
Yeah.
culo.
Let me
You
let me
fucking
put
up
you
my
up on this.
mom. Go
Let me
ahead."
put you let me put you up on this. You know what's missing from the game? It's one word, man. And it's consequence. The music used to have consequences in it. No
Right.
matter how dope somebody was or much of a killer and all that, at the end of the song, they had that motherfucker either locked up or getting shot up or blah blah blah. They never got to ride off into the sunset in the music.
Summer Vacation, perfect example.
Some perfect example, summer vacation, right? And it just tells you like, dude, you can do this all you want to, man, but it got two places you gonna go: death or in jail.
And
That's it. Total destruction. Your mom's crying, grandma crying, all this. That got taken out. In the drill music, man, you're not talking about that. They're just talking about extended clips, man, blasting. Where you at? Pull up, slide, boom, boom, blam, blam, blam. Well, what about the rest of it? What about when they shoot back? What about when they show up at your mom's house later that night and snatch her out the house and blast up everybody? Where's the consequence to it, man? You can't. So when you take that off, these fools grow up thinking that there is no consequence. They don't. As a young kid, man, you don't automatically understand the depths of the danger of these situations if you haven't lived it or ain't nobody told you. It ain't common sense. The common sense meter has changed in every generation. These fools out here wilding, man, ready to throw it all away, man. And it's like your life is not as important as your clout now. The
bruh.
rhymes, they not important as the clout. The innovation, done. I mean, I like some groups. I like Griselda, you know what I mean? I like shit, Kendrick, this shit out there, but it ain't, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's the consequences part, like you say. It's the overall message. You can chase all the holes in the clothes you want, but this is where you going. But it's also let's balance it with, okay, taking care of you. That song's Short and Funky by Too Short. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? He's talking about taking care of your family and taking care of your people on the block and taking care of your loved ones in that song. You don't. It's that the lack of consequences of where you're going, and the lack of showing two different outcomes. And then you look at even remember at the time in the early '90s when Magic got AIDS and everything, the music
Yep.
reflected that. It was like you're at Digital Underground.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rapping because I'm strapping because I'm smart, but I don't go nowhere without my Jimmy hat. When I'm rapping, I'm strapping because I'm smarter than that.
Look, you had Left Eye with the rubbers on her eyes in her glasses.
Yeah,
You know what I
they
mean?
they weren't talking about baby mamas, and they were saying don't become one.
That's right.
You
And they
know,
were, and look, they weren't taught. These dudes were selling drugs, but they weren't the drug users. You know,
they,
now these motherfuckers is the users now
and
and shit.
and even before we got to this, because the selling drugs was mid '90s, '80s was watching people sell drugs.
True that. True
Before
that.
before death row, they was selling drugs. Before death row, they were watching the people. They were watching. These were the scribes
Well, you had only a
watching.
couple.
Huh?
You only had a
Yeah,
couple.
you only had a
Easy.
couple. But for the
Right.
most part, they was talking about this is what happened, and
Mm-hmm.
such and
Mm-hmm.
such got shot by such and such
Mm-hmm.
because
Oh
he
yeah.
did such and such. Here,
Yep.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
When we
Yeah.
chose, because the whole theme of today is the difference from when the streets chose the artist to when the corporate chose the artist. And when you get into that, we gotta look at what happened at Aftermath. I think I might have to do a Patreon breakdown of that because Aftermath, and I this is where, because I like to talk about different regions. This is where I could bring it back to the West Coast. Aftermath had, even though I still wanted to hear that Busta Rhymes album that they never released. They sat on
Never
so
gonna
many
hear.
artists. They sat on a
Yeah.
DMX album. Was it DMX album? I think no, DMX was Def Jam.
No. They sat on Rakim.
Right? They sat on Rakim. They sat on
Yeah.
Rakim. They
Yeah.
sat
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Bilal. Bilal had a live
Exactly.
music joint that was gonna come out that they sat on.
They sat on King T.
They sat on King T. They sat on
Um.
so much, and
Yeah.
but they put all of their resources behind 50 Cent and Eminem.
Exactly.
Eminem drug culture, and I get it. He's white, so he's going to sell more than any nigga, guaranteed, because that's how the world works. The world
Exactly.
likes, no matter what music it is, they like
That's
the
right.
closest to a non-black person they can find to deliver
Yeah.
our music. So I get it, but Eminem
Yeah.
was pushing a lot of degenerate drug culture, and 50 Cent. How did 50 Cent get so much push, and all of those gods get sat on? It'd be different
I know.
if they got. It'd be different if, like, going back to what
I know.
you said about the early '90s. Put
I know.
all of them out and let us decide who go to the top.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
They didn't
You're
do
definitely right.
Look, what's his name? Master P wasn't sitting on no goddamn artist.
Oh no, hell no. He was putting out one album a month. That nigga was putting them out, boy.
Jimmy Iovine, put the shit out. Let us decide.
But see, look, let's talk about Master P too, right? Because back to the discussion of artistry, man. Honestly, man, it wasn't that good, man.
Hell no, it wasn't that good.
It wasn't that good. Not to say none of it was.
All because I will say the Snoop's album with them was one of my favorites. God damn it.
Yeah, see, it was about
double OPD, yo, double Jazzy.
Yeah. And fuck them other niggas. Yeah, more people get killed over fuck them other niggas.
You right about that.
Niggas than probably any other record in history.
Hey, remember. You remember being in a club when that fucked the other, and they played that song in the club probably up until I stopped going to the club in 2013. And you be in the club sometimes, just but you knew those nights when it's sometimes you're in the club and you feel tension. You done seen niggas kind of push each other a little earlier and nothing happened. The minute that song came on, dun 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 dun, nigga leave.
Fuck them other niggas because I'm down for my niggas. Fuck them other niggas because I ride for my niggas.
I done seen so many niggas get stomped out to that song. It did way more harm than good.
Okay, look, let's talk about somebody from last night. We didn't talk about the Wu-Tang Clan.
Man.
Ooh, them niggas sound good. You see how good Meth and Ray sound, bro?
Man, they rapped everything.
Everything. No backup guy and all that shit. I remember when the Wu-Tang Clan came out, right? Mm-hmm. They got 9 members with a half a 10th member, which is Capadonna. They was putting out all these solo albums that really was Wu-Tang albums. So they put out like 8 albums, man. You know what I'm saying? In like a couple years, bro. And this was not garbage. This shit was, they shit was banging, man. And that was still innovation.
Yeah.
The innovation was still happening. To have 9 members and none of them sound alike, literally nobody in Wu-Tang Clan sounds alike.
Nobody.
They're all different.
Mm-hmm.
That's that takes intent. You know what I mean? It takes intent because you could easily sound like somebody.
They were they were like a rap version of Parliament Funkadelic.
Yes,
Where it was just this big ass band of people.
Good call.
3 different bass players, 4 different drummers, different, and then every member on the band didn't play on every song. Bootsy Collins didn't play bass on every Parliament song. Sometimes it'd be Billy Bass. You know, Junie Morrison. They would get people from other bands. It was always like how, you know, it was just more in line of our Black American tradition in music. But sometimes you get these bands that just got this superpower and everything works. And that's rare because usually that don't work.
Right. Well, they was all unknowns. That's also the thing too about Wu-Tang Clan. Okay, so Jizza the Genius had got a deal because he was called the Genius. But you know, it didn't make any noise or whatever. And RZA was Prince Raheem, which he had a little single out with some chicks singing on it and stuff. It didn't make that much noise. They were all new artists to the world. 9 different new rappers. You know what I'm saying? And then to have Raekwon and Ghostface feature each other on each other's album, that was a new thing.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was just so much innovation, man. I just got to keep going back to the innovation, man. It was just all, even what Pac was doing, because, man, Pac, what people don't understand about Pac, when he died, the last project he did was Machiavelli, which was done about 2 weeks before he died. That is his primest of rapping. That is him at his best. Is on that album. But he was just hitting the prime.
You're just hitting it, yeah.
He was just, because you listen to some Pac stuff, you could feel it in your heart, right? But the rapping sometimes ain't that good. You know what I mean? There's Pac shit where it's like, okay, he not killing it. You know, he's stumbling. He like forcing the words and different little shit. But he was coming to his prime. So when the releases started happening after he died, motherfuckers was like, oh shit, this shit is good. You know what I mean? This nigga like, but the innovation died.
It died, man.
It just kept. I don't see where the new innovation is, man. I'll give, like I said, I'll give you Gucci Mane in the 90s. There's some slip throughs, like the Game's first album was killer. That's 2005. That was straight fire.
I'll tell you somebody who does it, and I don't know why hip hop don't talk about this guy more, and because he's very popular. But Anderson .Paak.
Oh, Anderson .Paak.
See, this is what happens. It's almost like in the last 15 years, really the post-50 era, honestly, longer than that, since 50, if it ain't hard, if it ain't it don't get group of hip-hop innovation.
That's right.
It got to get othered.
Yeah, that's right.
There is innovation happening with hip-hop because most of your hip-hop media ain't the culture. Is most of the people reporting on hip-hop now are not from our culture. They're people who like our culture. So they don't recognize the innovation, so they don't acknowledge it because it's not of their culture. Someone like Anderson .Paak, the singing, playing the drums while he's rapping.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Even his themes.
Yeah. Styles and flow. He's. See, look. Let me make sure I name some of these guys right, and before we get off this thing, so it don't look like we hating or something. Because there's motherfuckers that's tight out here. So Anderson .Paak is one of them, where he's got 2 albums that I could listen to the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
You ever listen to No Worries, that project?
Yep.
Yeah, did you the one that came out last year?
The other one that came out last year?
In June.
I probably did. It's not ringing with me.
That shit was nice
hard.
To me.
It was hard.
The No Worries projects that he does with Knowledge, yeah.
Okay, I got.
That's more hip hop than the other stuff. The other stuff is more like Lauryn Hill 50-50. But the no
Yeah,
worries is more
which I
him
like.
rapping.
Which I like. Like, I'm gonna tell you another person in that lane. What's homie's name that did acid rap? Damn. The dude from Chicago that did the acid rap album. What's his name? I don't know why I can't think of homie's name. He's in that vein too. He's in that lane. And then you got Tyler the Creator.
Yep.
You know, don't sleep on him with doing some innovation and doing live instrumentation and playing with guitars and shit and voices and crazy with the skits and
Chance.
all
You talking
that.
about Chance?
Chance the Rapper. That's what I was talking about. Chance the Rapper put out, to me, one of the best albums in hip hop for the whole history of it, which was the acid rap. That's, to me, one of the best albums because he mixed in feeling and expression and bravado and braggadocious, and he had rhythms and just it was fucking dope, man. It was dope.
Yeah, yeah. So what? I don't know. I know I don't want to keep you. I've already had you on loan. I told you I wanted you on,
Okay,
but
cool, man. It's cool. It's
because
cool.
I just appreciate you for dropping this in. You know,
Yeah,
like I told
yeah,
you
yeah.
before. For those of you who don't know, when I first started this show, Mike was my crutch. I couldn't do a show on my own. I couldn't talk by myself. Now I talk by myself for 4 hours at a time. But Mike was my crutch for a couple years. Like I need somebody to bounce off of.
Right. Hey, I
And
know that feeling too.
I appreciate you, Mike, for all that,
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah, man.
Later on,
I appreciate you, man. I always like coming on and talking about this shit, man. And I be rambling, so you got to keep me on the subject.
No. You don't be rambling. You be hitting a lot of points. That's why I just let you go because you preaching. I'm not about to interrupt your word.
Yeah.
We're in Black Music Month, so this is the month to celebrate Black music. So we're gonna be having these kind of discussions all month, celebrating Black Music Month. And I appreciate you for being a part of it, Mike.
Shit, man. Let's talk about some live shows next time. You know, I didn't seen everybody, and we can really get into that.
Let's do that. We're gonna do a Patreon where we can play some of the music too, and I'll have you on that over there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about all that good shit. All right, Mike.
Sweet, man. All right, man. I'll chat with y'all later. Appreciate it, man. One love, Dewan.
Man, thanks for calling in, brother.
All right, holla back.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was Mike Robertson right there, but that's my guy. A wealth of knowledge on the hip hop side of the game, especially over here on the West Coast. Because he was there. But yeah, we're gonna have a Patreon later on at about 5:30 today. We're gonna have a Patreon with Dr. Randy Short. Dr. Randy Short on Patreon. We're gonna cover up some things politically, what's going on. So I want y'all to get ready for that. Dr. Randy Short over on Patreon at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. I might push it back to 6, but I'll let you when I talk to him when I'm done here. I'll talk to him again. And somewhere either 5:30 or 6, we're gonna do a Patreon with Dr. Randy Short to really break down some of the things that he was talking about this past Friday when he started to go off the rails, and I had to kind of pull him back because Dr. Short can and will go off the rails. But on Patreon, he can do that. He can do that over on Patreon. We got my music history course that I have for my summer school. Sign up and also sign your children up for summer school. The Black American Music Family Tree. We're gonna be talking music, custom playlists, a digital workbook, artist information and fact sheets, glossaries for different musical terms, and a digital certificate of completion. We're gonna be doing this for the summer. I got some shit in my throat, y'all. Halfway while Mike was talking, my shit just started. I've been feeling good all day. But God damn. But you can get your Black American Music Family Tree hoodies, all that stuff. Back for more with that product code for 10% off. Everything at the DewanB.com shop. Sign up for the Patreon. It is Juneteenth month and Black Music Appreciation Month. Get your merch right here at DewanB.com. Get ready for the summer. Limited edition, 1865. I got some sample packs on the website, hoodies, artwork, all that good shit right here at DewanB.com. But yeah, this is the conversation that we had. It's not about crapping on what's new, but we see what's happening right now. Lil Wayne goddamn forgot his lines at WWF, releasing that trash shit. You see right now, you see so many rappers that aren't even rapping over their own lyrics when they go live. Auto tune is taking over, and AI is about to kick all of you niggas out that are like that. We're gonna have a discussion tomorrow on AI. If you go back and look further back on this channel, maybe I'm gonna post a link. I talked about AI on this channel 2 years ago, and I talked about where it's going, and now we're dealing with the AI situation with Timbaland and the big three, Universal, Warner, and Sony, saying that they're going to go all the way in with AI. We as a people should not worry, because at the end of the day, for the real creatives are going to be fine. The people that can sing on their own, the people that can play instruments, the talented, you're going to be fine. You mimicking niggas, you niggas that can only digitize your music, y'all about to be fucked up. AI is about to take all y'all jobs. I put the link to that in the description. I'm not in the chat, and I'm going to create a post also. Later on, I'm going to create a post so y'all can go back and watch my AI music show I did back in a couple years ago, so y'all can get caught up. And then we're going to talk about what's going on with that and everything. So yeah, we about to talk about it. You can say then probably unemployment. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow. All right. Want to thank y'all again for listening. Remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. We're gonna talk about that. These industry plants, the ones that they chose, they already starting a short circuit. Can't put on a live show, and all kind of shit. We're starting to see the results of 20 years, 25 years of the industry promoting who goes to the top. Their stars are starting to crumble. When the real stars that was promoted by us in the streets before then, they're aging like fine wine, playing the best of music, doing the best of everything. All right? Thank y'all again for listening. We out.